Welcome to Vator Reports, the show on innovation and innovators. I'm Bambi Francisco, and today's topic is the changing media landscape. And who better to talk about the changing media landscape in the last 15 years than Tony Perkins. Tony, you and I have met back in the mid-90s, and right after you started the Red Herring in 1993. A lot has changed since then.
A little bit.
Just a little.
Something called the Internet came around.
Exactly. Back in 1993, when you started Red Herring, you basically started a publication about innovation, and now, more than 10 years later, you started Always On. What's been the biggest change?
Well, I think clearly, the emergence of consumer-generated content has just taken the entire planet by surprise.
Well, one of the things that's notable between the Red Herring magazine and Always On and the content that's produced there. I mean, Always On, you're really going around to a lot of the industry experts, and they're producing a lot of this content pretty much just to get exposure. So your costs to actually, production costs are pretty low, Tony.
Well, that's our great secret. I think about 95% of our content comes from either guest bloggers, who, as you say, are experts in different fields, venture capitalists, smart people at IBM, et cetera. And then the other comes from our members. So it's a real revolution, and I'm not quite sure that the big media and big entertainment have fully recognized what's coming.
Well, I think they recognize it to some extent. We're seeing some consolidation. Reuters and Thomson Financial, or Thomson, sorry, as well as News Corp and Dow Jones. So clearly, I think there's the internet is becoming a big threat. It makes me wonder who the big distributors will be of traffic, because today you could say that the television and cable companies have the audience, but maybe in a couple of years it might be a company like Facebook.
Well, yeah, I think it's already happening. Of course, I come from the opinion that a lot of big media companies, and Rupert Murdoch has already been doing this, has been embracing this open media revolution, and it's very reminiscent back to the PC days, where a lot of computer companies did not embrace the PC phenomenon, and they subsequently went out of business. And the HPs and the IBMs that did embrace the PC, survived. So I think the media companies that embrace social networking, encourage user-generated content, those are ones who will be the long-term winners. And of course, like the PC analogy, you'll see Microsofts and Apples and Dells, a bunch of new media companies. Some of them may already have uploaded their videos on Vator TV.
Some of them may have. So let's take a look at some of the submissions to Vator TV. These are companies that are trying to revolutionize the media landscape. One company is Taste TV, kind of in line with how the web is sort of going through this nichification. Taste TV is kind of an indie channel for food and wine lovers.
There was just a wealth of contributors from around the world and around the country who really just wanted to produce their own cooking show, their own fashion show, their own design show, and they were really spending a lot of time trying to be seen. They were trying to get on, sending out and trying to get their work syndicated over and over again. And we realized that they should really come to work with us, because this is what we're here for.
They won the first AO Vator contest, actually. And then there's KickApps.
We've created a whole suite of web services, hosted web services, that allows publishers and web developers to very quickly and easily introduce these type of social media experiences to their website in a matter of hours or days.
I believe they just won or signed up BET, is that the Black Entertainment Television, and a number of other media companies that they signed on. So you're seeing a lot of traditional media companies try to bolt on the social networking platform, and KickApps is really trying to ride that wave. Critical Mention has been around for a long time.
We're about to demonstrate for you Critical Mention's flagship product, CTV Pro. It's a real-time TV search engine that captures and indexes television from across the country and around the world.
And there's Ringo, kind of interesting, kind of fun. video ringtones.
With regular ringtones, you become used to thinking about picking and choosing for yourself. I'm going to ask you to reverse that thought and to think of video ringtones as something that you choose for your friends to share with them to build a powerful community.
Of those 4 companies, which one do you like?
Well, Ringo, I think, is we saw such an explosion with the ringtones business, and now this is just taking it to the next stage. So, it's an Israeli-based company. I know the CEO, Jonathan Medved, very well. I think that's going to be a neat play, but we'll learn quickly. Of the remaining companies, the first 2, Turn and AdCracker.com, and that's with a K, and Cracker, are both picking up where Google left off. They're trying to cut into the ad serving part of the business.
So we said to ourselves, what if we could apply search-like technology to revolutionize online advertising? And what if we could automate online advertising?
AdCracker allows users to influence the text ads that appear on their pages to make these more meaningful, more relevant, and less intrusive.
There's been a lot of great companies that have emerged out of the pack in the last year. We've seen Quigo, which we named at our On Media conference as the #1 company in that area, has grown dramatically. So there's a huge market there. It really gets down to whether each of these solutions, make sense and can generate enough revenue, and I think we'll see on that. Bitaviv is yet a white-labeled kind of video web media solution.
We're a video web services company. We have an integrated solution that unifies advertising, publishing, and analytics.
Companies are going to be producing more media. Everybody's going to be producing more video, and so it's nice to have a white label web service like that. And so I know my editors are very, very bullish on Bitaviv as really the leader in that category. Eureka, of course, is an innovative search engine.
We empower and enable publishers, so we're not a destination site. We don't try to acquire users. What we do is empower publishers, online publishers, large ones, media companies that have big vertical sites, big vertical communities, as well as personal publishers and bloggers. And it really, again, to harness the power of community.
Which is actually combines search with social networking, so it gives preference to the people that you're affiliated with in your social networks. It tells you what they've been searching for. So again, it's another service that's tapping into the community mindset. And the last one, BuzzLogic.
BuzzLogic turns the chaos of social media into a channel that can be understood, managed, and monetized.
So again, a whole new generation of great companies, all with very interesting models here.
And it all looks like they're perhaps all based on advertising. They're all sort of tapping into the advertising market, which is clearly supporting most of the companies out there.
Well, yeah, and that's interesting on 2 levels. One, who would have thought back when we met that most of the companies, or a lot of the companies in Silicon Valley, would end up depending on advertising revenue. I mean, who never would have seen that one. The other thing about that is that as big as the ad market, online ad market is today, the $60 billion market opportunity is still in front of us. So there's a lot of money to be made. It's just finding your niche, again, under Google, to capture your market share.
Well, that's this episode of the Vator Reports. I'm Bambi Francisco with my co-host Tony Perkins. We'll see you next time on Vator TV.